live.
They're
Don't
all
worry,
great.
screw Ronnie.
Uh-oh. Up, so it says we are live.
That's
Wow, that's
Okay.
what's going on, guys. Welcome to Big Guilty Cigars podcast, and I am joined by one half of Great Cigars. Two-thirds, yeah, 2/3
or half. Well, if you count Kyle, 2/3 of the bald guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Half. The mini sockers.
That's right.
You know, 1/3 of the mini sockers. So, so I
you
have.
might see Ron appear in your in the green room. So make sure you.
Yeah, I'm looking out for him.
All right, you'll hear like a little beep or something.
Or you won't hear nothing
Or
at
you
all.
won't hear anything.
Yeah,
That's fine too. You're better off without him anyway. He's just an airbag anyway.
Yeah.
He's like an airbag in a car.
Yeah.
You just need him when you need to save your life. That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Thank you very much for having us. We have no clue why anybody wants us on their podcast.
Really,
I thought they had enough of us on one night on Tuesday.
Yeah, really. Wow.
Well, I met Ronnie at the through Ash Quarterly.
Yes, we did. I was on that.
Yes.
It was live with Pedro.
With Pedro. Yeah, so I met you guys there, and Ronnie said, "Good talking to you," and I was like, "Let me ask him to come on the podcast and just sit and have a conversation and talk."
Yeah, we're good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk.
Yeah, so
some of us talk better than others.
Some of us talk more than others.
So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into cigars and why BIG at this point in your life.
Wait a minute, Frank. It's his show.
I
He's
know,
supposed to ask us.
Hey, it's all right.
We're going right into our show.
You know what the thing is that he's not out of the interviewer mindset. He's not.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
So my name is Innocent, and I started smoking cigars like 4 years ago. I started smoking during COVID.
Okay.
And it was I was down visiting my son, and my dad came down, and I actually went, and he went to a cigar shop, and he bought some hand rolls. So I said, "All right, I'll buy 4." And then my coworkers kept talking about cigars. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try one. So I went. I prepped myself for like 3 weeks. I was watching Tim Swanson and learning how to smoke a cigar properly without killing myself. So I went like 2 weeks just learning how to smoke a cigar, and then I finally went down to a spot down here called Railroad Cigars. Was where I actually went to get my first cigars, and my first cigars were Jewish State Isa de la Sola, because it was a flavored cigar. So I figured it'll be easy to smoke.
Easy to smoke.
Yeah, and then also got a Leaf by Oscar, and then I got one of their store brands.
Yeah. Hey,
Leaf moves right into a good direction
right away.
Yeah.
At least you didn't get
with White Owls and Garcia Vegas.
Like Bob did.
Hey, I was 14 years old. Give me a break. I didn't know any better.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Hold up. Let me see if Ronnie's texting me. Let me check on him real quick.
Yeah, check on him. Don't worry, we'll cover for you.
Yeah.
Everyone, this is Ronnie trying to dial in, I'll call it. And Ron's technical abilities are slim to none. So, and Bob is absolutely -1. So Ron is just a little bit a step above Bob.
You think he's better than me?
I think so.
You think?
I don't think
wow.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you.
I can put these wires together. He can't do that.
Yeah, but it still doesn't mean it'll work.
Well, it doesn't mean it'll work, but I know where to put them.
Oh, there we go. It says device is disconnected. Yeah. Oh, he has to connect his mic before he can come on.
Yeah, connect the mic. Just tell him to connect the damn mic.
Yeah. Hey, Ronnie, connect the mic already, guy. What's going on here?
Yeah, what are you doing? Don't waste our time. Our time is precious.
Yeah.
We got paid big bucks to come on this
Yeah.
show. I heard he's got big, deep pockets.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. The only reason we're here.
Well, listen, the first thing I want to say is that we're Jersey boys. So we got the connection immediately.
Yeah.
So, and
Exactly.
I'm a Hudson County kid. I learned that my man was in West New York, which is like right there, right next to me. I was on 72nd Street. He was on what, 65th?
65th.
Well, what I like is the fact that he has New York next to his name. You know, where he came from. Because I'm a New Yorker, born and raised.
All right.
But I lived in Jersey.
He lived in
What part of New York, bro?
I born in Manhattan.
Really?
I grew up in Queens, Jackson Heights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny because like Staten Island and Queens are like a suburb.
Yeah.
You know.
Wait a minute. What? You Staten nothing? Staten nothing. That's what we used to call it.
Listen, I did a lot of work in Staten Island early on, and I got a chance to go to Toad Hill.
Oh, I know.
If you're familiar with Toad Hill.
I know who lived there.
Yeah, I went and drove past Paulie Castellano's house.
Yeah.
Now, Big Paulie was the boss of the was it not the Gambino? Was it the Gambino crime family?
Gambino. Yeah.
Gambino, right?
Yeah.
And that's right before he got whacked. So I think they used me as a lure to see if he would come out of the house.
I thought they had you standing in front of Sparks Steakhouse.
I was the goat. They said, Frank, we'll shoot you if you don't.
We can't miss you. We got a bald head. We'll put a light on it. We'll know where you are. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you know it's so crazy because New York it's changed so much. Like because I remember growing up, me and my family, we would always go to 125th Street.
Yeah, I love going to 125th Street. Great restaurant.
So we would always go to 125th Street, and that's where we would go and get our tapes. You know, we'll go there and get our tapes of Heavy D and the Boys and all that early 90s music. Yeah. But now that area,
you said our tapes.
Yeah, it was tapes back then. It was all analog.
That 8-track. How far are we going back now?
Yeah. Well, so I'm not gonna say luckily, but I never had to deal with
no face
with the H.
I hear a voice from behind. No
face. Yeah. It's me. I got no face.
You look better that way, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I don't look like you two idiots.
Wow. It's the voice behind the curtain.
Unbelievable. So how the hell do I put a face to this beautiful thing?
We don't want it.
Oh man.
So I think it should be like a camera, like a little dashboard at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, and it show a little camera.
I think he hit the button and he exited.
Yeah, he did. He exited.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's doing, really.
Exit stage
it just goes to show you that he's not the technical genius behind.
You know what? I would say this. Maybe Ronnie has to go next door to his neighbor's house and ask his neighbor, "How do I get this to work?"
That's it.
Well, Kyle's
the 10-year-old kid next door will get him back on.
Yeah.
But you're right what you're saying. New York is not the New York I grew up in that I know.
Yeah.
The last time I was back was about 5 years ago, and I said, I probably
before the
will never
madness.
come back again. It's unrecognizable to me. It really is. It was the greatest place. I mean, I'm thankful that I grew up there. I loved it, but now it's a different place, and frankly, it's horrible.
My eyes.
I did that all by myself.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
You can hear this. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for your patience.
No problem.
What's up, big man? John? All right, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, Ronnie. I'm doing all right.
I'm glad one of us is.
Yeah.
We were doing good until you got on.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot. The show's over. See you next week. All right. So, Big Guilty, what's going on? You've been
Yeah,
talking to
we
those two
already
schmucks.
did that, Ronnie.
Yeah,
You're 15 minutes behind.
All right, so I'll just sit here and just look cute.
I'm all right, man. I'm really happy you guys, decided to come on the podcast and just join me and have a good time.
Well, thank you very much for asking. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's good.
like I see for Frank, it's a little weird for him to be the interviewee.
Oh, very strange. Very strange. He don't like that. He likes to be the man behind the action.
I like being very prepared with my guests so that I know what I'm doing. I don't want to look like a fool like Bob or Ron.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't you love blood? Blood's good. Blood's good.
Well, anyway, you are the guest, so you are the fool tonight.
So
ask us whatever you want.
Yeah, we're not going to answer.
Let's go back to the beginning. When was you guys' first cigar?
First cigar.
Oh,
first cigar, and also
first cigar was about
what got you guys back in the day? What got you guys into cigars back in the day?
G.I. Joe.
G.I.
1960.
Hey, I love me some G.I. Joe.
Was probably the year I got into cigars.
Wow.
65. I started as a little brat smoking cigarettes. And from there, it was just a matter of
graduated
to smoking pipes and cigars,
crack pipes,
and then of course the '60s came, and I smoked a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah,
but I still love my cigars and my pipes. Whatever.
So did you guys grow up seeing your parents smoke cigars at first?
No, my grandfather smoked cigars.
He smoked the cigar.
He smoked anything. You could give him hemp and he would smoke it. It didn't matter. An old shoe, he would smoke. It doesn't matter.
He always had pockets, and he always had cigars. At least 2 cigars in his pocket at all times. At all times.
A fistful of cigars. Fistful of cigars. But the amazing thing is, he smoked some of the most wretched cigars ever made.
You got to go back to the 60s. Think about what was out there. It was rough. It was rough.
Yeah, there wasn't much back there, and
but I don't think he would have went for anything that was more exotic.
I don't think so. My dad was in the restaurant business, and a lot of times, people would leave cigars, on the table at the end of the night. They would just get up and forget them. And my dad would just accumulate all these cigars. I remember when we used to go up and visit him, he used to bring like this bundle of cigars to him. And they could be sitting on my father's dresser for like a month. I mean, they would dust in cellophane. And he was like overjoyed about it, man. He just smoked them nonstop all day. It was amazing how much he smoked.
I mean, my first impression of him smoking a cigar, he used to take us down. He managed a tenement house, a building that he lived in, but he was the super. So, and he had access to the basement. So what he would do is he'd go down in the basement. He had one pull chain light. That he would go down there, he'd turn that on, and then he'd pull out his cigar, smoke it, and we would find all of his porn magazines were down there. So that was our first exposure to that. We're like, wow, this is interesting. So now I know why he spent so much.
Porn.
Yeah,
it was a good combo.
Yeah.
And of course, he always had his bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
That was a necessary thing. You know?
Now, if you remember The Godfather, when he was in the yard with the sprayer and going around with his kid, that was our grandfather. He across the street from the building, he had his garden.
Wow.
He had this big garden, a vegetable garden. He could go out there and spray and smoke a cigar. Hey, he was in heaven. The guy was in heaven.
He lived to be 92.
He lived at 92.
Wow.
Yep.
Hey, listen, the rumor is that cigars add 2 years to your life. That's what I hear.
Absolutely.
So
I thought it was 5.
I started in 1846, and
you go well into the 3000s.
I should be. I'll be in the Star Trek movie. No, but that was my first experience with the leaf, and I've enjoyed it ever since. It's been part of my life. It really has.
Yeah.
And me, I started smoking in the early '90s, right before the cigar boom. And my first cigar was we went to JR.
J&R,
J&R
in Whippany.
The big superstore, and that was an amazing store.
Great store. Wow.
And we went in there, and I reached for. I asked the guys, so what is the cigar that I can count on that's going to be really good? So he said, I would recommend Padron. So I had my first Padron. It was a 1926, so back in the early 90s, and then I kept smoking Padron basically all through the 90s, all through the 2000s, through like 2018. Once these clowns said,
wait, I'm sorry.
And I smoked other things
but
that
just to back up a little bit. We also went to the very first big smoke, which was in
Manhattan, in the Javits Center.
In the Javits Center in the
Really?
90s.
That was the original.
The first
smoke.
one.
The first one.
Wow.
Cigar Aficionado put that out.
With a shopping bag, a regular shopping bag, like the kind you would get at Macy's, full of cigars.
Yes.
And that was really our introduction to
other brands.
A variety of cigars that, stuff that we'd never seen before, we never smoked before. And that was really our dipping our foot into the water.
Well, more for you and I, Bob. Frank was still a stubborn son of a bitch. All he wanted was Padron. He was. Listen, he didn't really change his palate till he met. We got him on the show in 2019 when we got him.
Yeah.
And we finally got him to try other stuff. Man, I'm telling you, he was hard. It was hard for him to give up the Padron. Well, and now the guy smokes 1,000 cigars a year, different ones all the time. And because you can come and appreciate your palate changes and all. Well, never to knock the Padron.
Listen. The problem was in the 90s, you had a lot of cigar makers. Remember, there was that big boom, and people were just pushing out sticks that should have never made it to market. Prematurely.
They still smell of ammonia.
Oh, yeah, you'd smoke
it,
and it was really bad. So every time I would spend, $5-6 then for a cigar, and it was
which
bad.
was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
A lot of money for a cigar back then.
I'd get pissed off. I'd get really pissed off, and then I would say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just smoking Padrones because every time I smoke a Padron, it's consistent. It's great all the time.
Well, you start with a top shelf cigar. It's very hard to go beyond that. It's like
I know.
That's true.
But now we have a lot of cigars that are, and I don't want to say competitive, but yet they are.
They are.
So many new cigars on the market that are just fabulous. They really are.
I mean,
it's a pleasure to smoke so many different things.
I mean, and we're fortunate because we do get a chance to try people's cigars because they want to try to get on the show, and they want to try to maybe help them launch a line or whatever. So they'll send us stuff, and sometimes I go to Bob. I go, so what do you think? He goes, I go, yeah, I agree. I go, I don't want them on the show because I don't want to say something bad about it.
Yeah.
So I rather not say anything. So that's us. Like, we won't disparage a cigar maker for making a cigar that we think kind of sucks because that person spent a lot of time developing that, and it's not my place to break somebody's cherry.
Somebody said this, and it's really true. There's no such thing as
there are bad cigars.
There are bad cigars, but no such thing as a bad cigar. It's just a cigar maybe that doesn't appeal to your palate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And there's many cigars that have gotten very, very good ratings that, to me, are cigars that I wouldn't smoke. I've tried them, and I've tried them a few times because I don't just try one cigar one time. I can't base my opinion on it once. I'll try it a few times. But if every time I smoke it, it's just not appealing to me, then I'm never going to smoke it again. But I won't badmouth that cigar. I'll just choose not to talk about it. I think it's the most diplomatic way of getting around it.
Yeah, and there are people out there that will go ahead and bash your cigar, and I'm okay with that.
That's okay. That's what they want to do. Yeah. But that's not what we do. We don't like to do that.
So sorry, I have a special guest that's coming on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you didn't tell us that.
You didn't tell us that.
I gotta guess. Not a Mr. Sanjay Patel, will he? He's already early. He's too early. We got him coming up on the show.
Who is that? Somebody on the land? We can't even see what they look like. They witness protection or what?
No, he's driving fast. What's up, Sanjay?
How are you?
Good, man.
Good,
How
good,
you
sir.
doing?
How are you?
You got
Can't complain. Tired.
You need another light.
He's always,
I'm actually driving, so innocent asked me. I said, of course.
Put the overhead light on so we can see.
It is.
I did. It is on.
Oh man,
it is on.
Good,
Oh yeah,
man.
it's the overhead, but he's got the overhead light. You know why? He's got his camera down low.
Yeah.
We could almost see your Johnson.
Yeah, really. Hey,
There we go.
Hey, we get to see.
Mark, hey, listen, I gotta advertise.
That's excellent. Sanjay, nice to see you. It was a nice surprise.
Likewise.
I hope you're ready for
Likewise.
when you come on our show. We got a lot to talk about there with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So welcome
When
to our
are we
show.
doing it?
What's that?
Welcome
When are
to
we
our
doing
show.
Hold on. I'll let you know. I'll check while they talk to you. I'll give you the date that we're going to be on. I'm looking now.
So where are you going, Sanjay, that you need to be driving?
He's going
I'm
home.
going home.
You don't have a driver?
You know what? No.
He's
Then
on
you
the
can't
show.
be on
He's
the
hosting
show.
the show. He's hosting them.
Listen, you can't be
Yeah.
on the show if you don't have a driver.
You don't have your own limo and a driver. Come on,
Come
man.
on, you know.
Listen. If I have to drive more than 35 minutes, I always have a driver.
That's right.
All right.
It's called
What?
Uber.
No.
Well, it could be a Fruber, Frank.
I've done that before. Listen, I've driven cars for people. They know when
Yeah, that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not talking about getaway cars, Frank.
Well, I did that.
Hold on, I'm looking.
That's
I'm
my
looking.
Italian Mario Andretti background.
There you go.
So, you guys were talking about how you guys get so many requests to come on you guys' show.
Yeah.
And and you have to turn people away.
True.
Well, it's not that we turn them away. We just can't do them for this year. We're solidly booked to 2024.
That's Ronnie's line of shit. That don't fly with us. Listen, Ronnie asks us, and we said, no, we're not going to have that person on the show because their cigar sucks. You understand? It sucks. We had some cigars that were so bad. Listen, we put them, we both smoked one, and then we tried
I can't
another.
believe you said that. I was trying to be so diplomatic before. 5 minutes ago, I said, "Oh, we don't say that," and now you came right out and said it.
I didn't say that.
Well, it's not our show. We can be ourselves right now.
Nobody who watches us is listening.
Oh, yeah, we got people. Don't worry.
Well,
It's all right. Hey, Sanjay, August 1st, 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right?
Beautiful.
2 weeks. All
Remember,
right?
don't be in the car, and if you are, I want you in the back seat.
No.
Absolutely
not.
If that's the case,
not.
I'll be driving signs.
We're checking for piano wire just in case. Better having piano wire on you. So what are you guys smoking, by the way?
Yes.
So I am smoking the new Warhead from Espinosa. This year's Warhead.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
I have that in my bag of tricks.
Yeah.
I haven't smoked it yet.
Felix over here.
Yes, I have that in my bag of tricks. I'm smoking in honor of Steve.
We're
a meat
smoking
lovers,
a meat lovers. Yeah.
Meat lovers.
Hey, listen. Like it's only right for the baby sockers to have on the smoke the meat lovers. You know.
We have to. I mean, hey, the man was nothing but incredible last night. I mean, He really.
Always.
He blew the doors. He just blows the doors off everything. He really does. And
he's such a presence. When he comes in the room,
he is.
He fills the room.
Literally and figuratively.
So, Sanj, you're very close to Steve. You know, you've known Steve for probably over 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he wasn't thin then. I looked at pictures of Saki. He's not.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, but hopefully before Science comes on, you guys get some SPs. You guys can try them out.
Yeah, just Innocent. What you do?
Yep.
Get their address. We'll mail it out to them tomorrow or Monday.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Otherwise,
I'll be smoking your friend Saka's cigar during your show.
Hey, listen. There are some people in the industry. You could smoke whatever you want. I'm one of those guys. I always tell, even on my blogs and live I go on, and I tell people you should smoke what makes you feel happy and what makes you feel comfortable with it, right? So to me,
feel happy is a little bit of Acapulco Gold, but that's
yeah. Well, hey, listen. Now it's legal, so knock yourself out. You know what I mean? But
since 1966, I'll tell you something.
Listen,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, people who did it. I mean, look, everybody has their own thing, right? So I was just on a blog 2 weeks ago, and somebody asked me. He says, because our cigars can constantly sell out. We can't. Matter of fact, I just got a shipment in of 200,000 cigars of black yesterday, and today we almost sold 80 boxes. I mean, we launched the black. We launched the black in January 7th of this year, and we sold over 350,000 cigars.
Wow.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Good,
yeah,
and
the industry killer, and the Project Kill the Industry. That cigars, Innocent knows. We get 10,000 bundles, and he's gone in week.
Yeah,
it's gone in week. Right now, I don't have a single cigar in the industry killer line to send to anyone. So I have, Red Lancero sell out. I just got in red. Robusto and Toros came in. So I'm going to send you guys all of that. And
Son,
go ahead.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So why is Rick Martinez calling his cigars the same name as you are calling yours?
No one's calling industry killer.
He's calling his the red. He's got the black.
Oh no. Yeah, no. The red and black. It's actually the cigar is called SP 1014s, and we just describe it. We describe it as a red. So red is the Corojo Puro, which is blended by me and Chico, and then the black has. When you guys receive it, you'll see the bands. The black has the black lining and a black dot, and red.
So
red is
okay.
Yeah. No. That's just my reference.
I thought you were going to sue Rick.
No. Nah, listen, dude. I don't. If I sue someone, it's got to be worth my time.
Exactly.
The only two people I have sued, and we won both of them. One was a General Cigars in 1999. They came out with a cigar called Siglo 6, and they had a Cohiba design. Instead of black and white checks, they had a black and white triangle, and we sued them.
Good.
And they had to burn over 750,000 boxes. Almost they had like 500,000 hats, shirts, because they were ready to just about to launch. And I said, absolutely not. And then the second guys that I sued was DuPont, because DuPont, they want to sell the Cohiba lighters in US. And I said, you can't do it.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Sanjay, how long? I know these are questions we're going to ask on our show, so you don't mind double it up.
No. Listen,
and we don't mind. And really, I know, but this is big guilty post. We're not talking as if we're naturals, So, but how long you been in business, though? I mean, you go back a long way.
Yeah, so I go back in business basically all my life, and on my own, 32 years.
Wow.
Oh, very good.
That's
so with my family, I grew up in cigar businesses, and my dad, even today, I mean, he passed, but we're the only family in the world has a technology to take the nicotine out of tobacco without harming the tobacco leaves. And until 2008, 2007, actually, our clients were Lorillard, Philip Morris, Brown and Williams.
That's what I was going to say. It had to be Philip Morris, the big guy.
Yeah, because they were buying pure nicotine from us, to add it in cigarettes. In 2008, FDA says you no longer could add nicotine. So today, our product is in all the pharmaceutical stuff. So every time somebody buys a Nicorette patch, that's our raw material. Nicorette gum, that's our raw material. Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Good for you, son.
Thank you. Yeah.
No wonder you get to hang out in the
home?
lounge.
He's getting there. He's
Are you
home.
almost home? Because we want to see you.
Yeah, I'm actually. Don't worry, I'll get home. I'll stay on. Listen. This blogs and lives is second nature. I've been on over 1,500 blogs and lives all over the world.
There you
Well,
go.
after 32 years, you better have. That's for sure.
Where are you located? Where are you now, Sarge?
No, don't tell me. Witness protection required.
No. I'm in. Listen, I fear no one except God, and sometimes I don't even fear God because I don't do anything wrong.
There you go.
Except torture me.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, but God likes that. He listen.
Listen,
no problem with that.
Anybody who knows me knows if I don't call when innocent walks in, I don't call him fat motherfucker. He knows that's nothing but love.
Oh shoot! What are friends for, man? What are friends for?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, guys. We're guests on somebody else's show, and we've taken over
Yeah.
the show.
No, listen. When Sanj comes on, Sanj kind of
he takes over.
He takes over.
There you go.
No, listen. You know what happens in the blogs like this? What happens, right? Especially with guys like you. There are so many bloggers that they don't know anything. You talk history, they fucking scratch their head. So even just 2 weeks ago, it happened. John Huber was on one of Innocent's blog. Remember, Innocent?
Yep.
That was what, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, and he did it from my place. And, John said, let me say hello to Sanj. And I came on and I says, what's going on? And, we started talking business. And next thing I knew, I took him back into history. And he's like, dude, I didn't know any of this. Because he's in the business since 1998, 97.
Right.
Yep.
But in the industry, that's a newbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And, so I told him and he was shocked. I took him back into history. He was shocked.
Yeah.
Nice. John's got his own historian, Miguel, who knows.
Yes.
He's definitely a historian.
He's an encyclopedia of tobacco history.
Yeah.
And Miguel, that fucking Puerto Rican, ask him where he learns all that shit from. He'll call me middle of the night. These things I heard. And then he fucking repeats it. And I'm like, you motherfucker. But that's my point,
And then he takes the credit, son.
That's all right. Listen, I tell people, we do Innocent Knows. I donate 75% of my income, right?
Wow.
So I never have taken a write-off. And people are like, why don't you take a write-off? And my religion, the minute you take a write-off, it's no longer a donation.
Right.
Right. That's right.
So I don't write it off. Look, I do a lot of stuff for veterans. Since 1992, I opened. We're the only shop in the fucking world that on the Memorial Day and Veterans Day, we give out 2 free cigars to every veteran, and no questions asked. If you gotta lie to me, hey, God bless you. That's between you and God.
That's
But
right.
we do that every Christmas, month of December. Every first responder veterans, they pay in our shop exactly what we pay.
Wow.
So, anytime, I look, even COVID time, this motherfucker is right, so-called brick and mortar shit. And that's the one thing about my lives. Whenever I go, people say it's 45-minute segment. There is not a single segment that's less than 3 hours. Because when you start talking and you go back into the history, and the problem is, I speak the truth. Listen, I was on a blog with a lot of well-known, staple guys, and on their own blog, and I told them, I said, listen, they asked me, what do you think the worst for cigar was that I experienced? I think, in my opinion, and I said, yours is number 1. And guy looked at me like I had 4 heads. But again, that's the thing. If you can't speak the truth, don't invite me. If you're gonna block me from speaking the truth, don't invite me on your blog. I tell people all the time. I had a guy
So
2 weeks ago. I was on a blog, and he goes, "Your cigars are $6." And every independent review guys, they have rated all my cigars #1.
wow.
And
We definitely can't wait to smoke them because I
yeah,
know in the past I've
we're
heard
gonna
these.
send,
You have high ratings, and it's exciting to hear
yeah,
that you
yeah,
almost your entire line is nicely rated, and
yeah, yeah.
that's congratulations to you and your
Thank you, thank
experience
you.
in the
I,
industry.
I
Yeah,
have a
look,
question. I have a
yes,
question for you.
yes.
In your entire history of smoking cigars, from day one to today,
Uh-huh.
what's the absolute worst cigar you ever smoked?
Ooh.
The worst. Oh,
So,
come on, Frank.
so here, and that's a great question, right? So I don't think any cigar is a bad cigar,
I
right?
like that.
So
That's right.
because you're gonna find somebody. Look, what I may like, you may not like. Doesn't make that thing a bad thing,
Right.
right? So as I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm pure vegetarian. I never had alcohol, nothing. So
Right.
my thing is, if you like it, you enjoy it, then that's for you. If I
Right.
don't like it, I don't. Look, everyone knows that who knows me for the last 17 years since Eladio came out with the Millennium. I smoked that cigar 365 days, first cigar in the morning.
Wow.
Nice, nice.
Even
That's great.
today, even today. And and when Luis Torres took over Davidoff factory, I
Yeah.
took everything from Eladio, because Eladio makes my cigars,
Right.
and Eladio and I friends for over 25 years.
There you go.
So my history is very deep in this field. So a lot of people think, oh, you're a cigar shop guy. You just came out with a cigar, but no. Before cigar shop, I have cigar shop because I'm on paper legally disabled.
Gotcha.
So my left eye I can't see. So I used to race cars, and
Oh wow.
I wrecked I have raced Ferraris with Michael Schumacher and stuff. I used to
Damn.
race Corvettes. I had a lot of Corvettes. I had 9 Corvettes of my own. I had 2 Ferraris, but I wrecked 1969 Corvette Stingray, which I was doing 140 miles an hour, and fucking engine blew up and ejected me out like 20 feet. I was in coma. I was in coma for 4 days. I had amnesia for 6 months. I had catheter,
Wow.
I had a colostomy bag. Half of my skull is artificial. My whole left side is artificial. So innocent, everybody knows I can't do a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. If you ask me to hold the dollar bill over my shoulder until you count 25, after 25 you give me $1,000. I can't do it.
Right.
Wow.
So
God bless. Thank God you're alive
yeah,
because
Yeah.
obviously
yeah.
you are a known individual in the industry, well
Yes, of
respected,
course.
and everybody
Yeah,
knows you say it the way
yeah,
it is. You don't hold
Yeah.
yeah,
back,
yeah.
and
Nothing, never.
you say the
Listen,
truth of what you believe in.
exactly. Look, I don't make up stories, right? And that's why a lot of people, they'll say when I go on the blog, like major players in the industry will call me up, Sanj, please don't go on this blog. You're gonna blow up. I said, look, if a viewer of their viewer asks me a question, I'm going to answer it honestly.
Right.
You prove me. Listen, I just had a big issue with Kid Parks. You know who Kid Park is, right?
Kid Park. No, tell me.
So that's the guy who owns a Prometheus in Lost City and got a fire and all
Oh,
that
okay.
stuff.
Yes. Yes.
So, you know, I was on one of the blog and they said, I said to guys, I said, look, there are so many scams and a lot of cigar guys
Yes.
come to us. And if you're just yesterday's guy retired, he was a fireman, and all of a sudden 2 years into the business, you go to fucking DR, you go to anywhere paying 50 cents a cigar, you slap a band and you have, $14 price. I'm not supporting you.
No.
No, that's
Right?
greed. That's pure
Right, but
greed.
right. I just had a girl. I'm not going to mention her name, but very attractive. Comes to me. She says, "Sons, can I come down and talk to you?" I said, "Of course." So then, 'cause I also have blended a lot of cigars for a lot of well-known people. I just can't say who, but a lot of
That's all right.
well-known people, right? So she comes to me, and she's like, "I need help with this." I said, "Look, first of all, this cigar, if you're paying more than 40 cents a cigar, you're paying too much. I said, the band that you have, you're spending equal amount of money, but they look like belongs in a bodega. She starts crying, right? So she starts crying, right? Then I tell her the whole thing. I said, this box is made by this company because I know the way they do it. It's just such a cheap work. And she goes, yes. I says, hold on, let me have a cigar. She gives me a cigar. I said, this factory's work. And he's like, how the fuck do you know that? And I says, I originally, that factory was mine. I started that in 90s. And then the third guy came in, and now today he's running it. And that factory is PDR, Abe Flores. So before that factory, PDR factory was called Don Leon CA Cigar Factory. That's where I used to make my SPs as well. And then Abe came in between. Juan was my main guy. And Abe came into picture, and we didn't like the way Abe was doing business. So we, say, hey, we're going to go on our own. And, 2008, early 2009, the last company that was producing cigars for us, they couldn't give me the construction, right? So we respect. Listen, I could have kept that shit. Back in the 90s, we used to sell close to 800 to 900,000 cigars a year.
Right.
Wow. Back then.
And back then, and the beautiful thing that we did is the whole project. So I was on one of the blocks 7 years ago, and somebody asked me, he said, why all these prices are going up? And I simply said, that's a manufacturer's greed. Nothing has changed.
That's right.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to start a project I'm going to re-revise all my cigars, and we're going to call it Project Kill the Industry. And that's exactly what we did. So my SP 1014, listen to this very carefully. SP 1014 is one of the only 3 cigars in the world that have 7 tobacco.
7?
Yeah.
Holy
so
cow.
one is the Oro Blanco, which is $550 a cigar, which is also blended by Hilario Diaz. Okay? And then when Jose Fuente, Carlito Sr., when he was live, he had a cigar. They used to come out with, Christmas time and Father's Day time. But that cigar, when he was live, that was $180 MSRP. Our cigars are, wait until you get it. Our cigar is going to feel like you're holding a piece of pipe. But you take a pinhole and you have a perfect draw. And any of the cigars that I will send you, if you don't hold fucking halfway ash, when I get on your block, curse me out. You look at all our social media. It's the #1 posted cigar. Every independent reviewer has rated my cigars #1 over 40, 50. There's a cigar hound dog. Look at that guy's stuff. There's a Master Yo Ash. We're producing cigars, same price in 1997. 1992 when I first launched my cigar. That was made out of Costa Rica by a gentleman named Don Douglas. Most people won't even know what I'm talking about. Today's generation won't even know.
They're not even born in 92. Forget about that. There's no history. The young don't get it.
Right. So Don Douglas, my cigar was the first one made out of Costa Rica. Then guy named Tony Barhani, a good friend of mine, had a Bahia cigar. He was making it at the factory. Bahia Gold, I blended for him, which was the #1 cigar of the year.
Right.
Okay. So then what happened? Our cigar SP Red was at $9, $10, $11, and $12. Our SP Red was $8.50, and $9. $9. And our industry killer, at the time we called it something else, but the name fits perfect. So we just call our cigars Industry Killer. So Industry Killer back in the day was $6 retail. Today, same quality, same construction, same everything. It's at $6, same principles. Our blacks are 9, 10, 11, 12, and it's Hilario Diaz's name on every single band. If just by Hilario's name, I could have put those cigars at 15, 18, 21, 25. I still would have sold the same amount. But we're not doing that. Our red Robusto is $8. Total is $8.50. Lancero is $9. Our Lanceros are 13.5 grams. There is no fucking Lancero in the market that's 13.5 grams. Our Toro, which is 6x50, that total is 16 and a half gram. Therefore, nothing is underfill. So it
Right.
feels like a piece of pipe. Our Robusto is 14 and a half gram, 5 by 52. And I would just in overseas, and I had 16 Habano presidents. I'm sorry, 13 out of 16. And we were smoking. Innocent knows I was there. So all the Habano CEOs and presidents all over the world, they're friends of mine.
Wow. Right. That sounds awesome. Now I can't wait to actually smoke them just because of how you set this all up. Thank you for not being a greedy bastard like so
they
many.
Want us. I'm walking in, so I'll get a light.
So while we have a second, I have a question for all you guys.
Hold on.
So,
hold on.
All right. Yeah. So,
hold on. Hold on.
I'm gonna ask Sans the same question. Yeah. There we go. Like, if you guys can sit down, I'm a big fan of blenders. My thing is the people that's behind the cigars, into the tobacco. If you could sit down with 4 blenders, who would they be at a dinner table?
Steve Saka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luciano
Merilius, yes.
I'm gonna put Ish in there.
Ish,
yes. Ish.
Sorry.
From Oliva, from Rodriguez factory.
Okay, honey. Okay.
Definitely get Ish in.
And I'll put Sanj in there.
Well, we have. Well, yes, we like to, but we haven't experienced his cigars yet.
That's
so
true.
You know, we can't say something we haven't smoked.
Hey, listen, he was name dropping, so just based on the name dropping alone, I'm going to put him in there because I love to sit down with all of them to get a little bit of an inside look. Because, Sanj, do you think today, in today's market, do you think that the blenders today are better than the blenders from the 90s?
Absolutely not.
Not, huh? Wow.
Absolutely not. So what changed today and then 20 years ago, 25 years ago, before the boom, 1997 boom, if you were gone to any manufacturers at the time, and at the time they had a handful of blenders. So Davidoff had Eladio, La Aurora had Emmanuel, right? Innova, Casada, Paul Palmer, at Casada, Paul Palmer and Manello was on their guys, right? So today, if you Padron, they did their own thing, right? Father, and Fuente, they did their own thing, and Dunhill was imported. In the 90s, I tell people the best cigar for the money, it was something called Santa Damiana. And those are classic. I mean, Santa Damiana, if Santa Damiana would have existed today, it would have gave Davidoff run for their money.
Interesting.
And
are you on a swing by any chance, Sanjay?
Yes, I am. My dog, my Oreo loves when I come home to be on a swing.
All right. I'll have to look away. I get motion sickness.
No. Do not sit on the sofa. I'll sit on the sofa.
No, busted. It's true, but don't worry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You're going in and out of my.
Like for me, it's a little like I'm newer. So right now I only know the big names as far as Willie, Hector Alfonso from Espinosa, which with the knuckle sandwich and having him success with that, and I would love to sit down with Ernie Carrillo.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, Carrillo, very good.
Ernie. So I always tell people on a blog, if I have to take today the top 5 guys in the industry. So as a respect, we're going to go age-wise, right?
Okay.
So Eladio Diaz is number 1. Ernie Perez, number 2. Ernie and I go back almost 30 years, right?
Okay.
And Ernie Perez smokes my cigars, and he posts it on his page, right? Then I would go with Chico. Chico Rivas is very young, but his experience since he was young kid, he's been in this business. So, he's somebody that I would say, top guy, right?
Okay.
And that's about it. Emmanuel, is good. Chico Rivas, top notch, and Eladio. Look, everybody else, I call them Walmart of cigars. And then that's what I was saying, right? So 25 years ago, if you had gone with $500,000 to, Jorge Padron or, Fuente, right? These are the people took pride in what they did. Today has become a business, so they don't take pride. So if you go now, some jerk off goes there with fucking, $2,000 and say, "Hey, I want my cigar." They go, "Here you go, take it." They slap a band on it. Next thing you know, it's $18. Like, what the fuck you talking about?
Right.
Right? So if you ask them about blend, they tell you, "Oh, it's industry secret." What fucking secret? I give you all my blends. Go produce same shit. You can't do it.
Right.
Right.
I would say this, Sanj. One thing that I learned from John Hubert is, he doesn't call himself a blender. He says,
Right.
I pick very good cigars.
Right. And I respect guy like that. And look, even all these blogs, all these, and every day for me, any consumer comes in, walks in, it's always education first, then money.
Right.
Right. So we never upsell anything. If you came in looking for, $20 cigar, I'm going to send you home with, 3 cigars for $21. That's my job. Right. And we've been doing, listen, I'm in New Jersey. When I first started, there was 0% tax. Then there was 9% tax. Then it went to 18. Then it went to 24. Then overnight it went to 48%. With the floor tax, New Jersey came in and said, "Hey, you pay 24%. They took our inventory, and we had to pay another 24% on top of it. And they lowered it to 30%. Our cigar, every single cigar, regardless of how popular it is, whatever price you see in half reel and whatever price you see listed on Cigar Aficionado, that's the price we charge.
There you go. Perfect.
We don't price gouge on anything at all. And our thing is, my whole thing is love and passion. And listen, knows how many cigars I give away to people a day.
A lot.
Right. And my thing is, look, I want to educate people. So, when I go on the blog, I don't feel, that I'm this is my life. This is who I am every day, 365 days. I'm not putting up myself a persona because, I'm on this blog, let me act up. No, I'm a simple, humble guy. And that's all is to it. But I'm also an honest guy.
Right.
And our goal is, look, even in 1990, early 1991, there is a gentleman named Ben He's still alive. He's in DR. He was a massive blender for UST cigars.
Okay.
Astral, Don Tomas, Helix. So Astral Talanga was my blend. I blended it. Ben liked it so much. He said, "We want to take it." I said, "Go ahead." So if you look at the original Astral, I designed the packaging. It was just wrapped in a banana leaf with the meat string, right? And it was a closed foot and a pigtail. Same thing we made. And my original SP Red was a Talanga wrapper. We were the only one using Talanga wrapper, Honduran Talanga wrapper, right? So now, when Bent and I said, he says, "What are you looking for?" Then I give him an answer. Jose Blanco was there on the same table. Me, Bent, and Jose Blanco were on the same table. And I said, "I want a $15 cigar that I could sell it for $8. And guess what? 32 years later, that same cigar is still $8.
Nice job, man. That's awesome.
Very good.
Good for you.
I have a question.
Yeah. Somehow the mic's not working, so I'm putting phone by the ear.
All right.
No, we hear you, by the way.
We
heard
hear
everything. You're fine.
Yeah.
No, he said we got to sound just deaf.
Oh,
okay. He's
so
like,
you're blind in one eye and deaf.
Go ahead.
So I heard a story that one day Rocky Patel, he was really lit up. He was a little bummed, and he was quoted as saying, basically, I'm selling $2 cigars for $10.
Hold on, say that again.
It was Rocky Patel. He had a little too much to drink, and he was at a party, and he was basically gloating that he was selling a $2 cigar for $10. And you know, he laughed about it, like, look what I could do. And I think that that's what you're saying when people just price gouge the market because of a name.
Well, not even a name. Look, who's most responsible for it? I don't blame the guy. Listen, wherever you guys live, I'm sure there's some corner, some piece of shit scumbag selling dope to kid, right?
Right.
You know that person's a scumbag. But guess what? If your kid goes and buys, and anybody else's kid goes and buys it from that guy, I don't blame the guy. I blame you for not looking after your kid. So why the hell do you need to pay? And those cigars, by the way, if he told you $2, he fucking lied by $1.60.
Right.
So right. You know, look, Jesus Fuego was making his cigars. Jesus and I worked together. So I've been doing this before these people came into industry.
Right.
You know, so, you know, even if I wanted to be a dick, you know, any 60 ringgit cigar in the market, I could sue them all. That's my trademark.
Wow.
So when I first trademarked that in 1992, there was only 3 large ringgit cigar. One was owned by JR, which is called Casablanca Half Jerbone and Jerbone. That was 5.5 by 70, and I think 7.5 by 70, and then one Nick Perdomo had cigar called Immenso, and Nick Perdomo had it way after, and then the first flavor cigar condition, I don't even call it flavor condition, was Lars T10 before Drew Estate even existed.
Right.
So I used to blend a lot of Lars's cigars.
Okay, Lars. Yep.
Lars. Did you really? I didn't know you did that for Lars.
Yeah. You know, so a lot of stuff. At that time, our cigar was 54, and we had 4.5 by 60, and we trademarked all those sides. 54, 60 is trademarked to me.
Huh.
Wow. You're the originator of the Gordo.
Yeah.
You're the originator of the Gordo.
Yeah.
Wow. Which is one of my favorite sizes, actually. I like a big cigar myself.
Yeah, so I'm gonna send Innocent information, and he'll come tomorrow. He's got our Saturday. I see him, and then you know, I'll send you guys everything out before you get it, and
so
hopefully.
Where are you in New Jersey?
What exit?
Bloomfield.
My shop is in Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Oh, okay, yeah, I grew up in North Bergen, New Jersey. So.
Okay. So you grew up in North Bergen, so you are going to take you back to your history. Cuba Aliado, Puros Indios.
Yes, Indios, and that was in Union City.
Right
Union City.
Yeah. He used to roll his cigars right there on the spot, and we used to go get them, buy them fresh.
$2 a stick.
$2
a stick. I remember that.
Yeah. And he had a bundle cigar called Raleigh's. The best cigar for $1.50 you ever bought.
You're right.
Yo, Ronnie was talking about me and Ronnie was on the phone yesterday, and Ronnie was talking about that yesterday.
Can we still get those sticks for $1.50 or what?
No.
Hey, Innocent.
Now.
No, he just actually passed away.
Innocent, what we talking about? I think you weren't even a tot in your father's ankle.
Yeah.
Or your father did a lot of practicing before you.
Yeah, guys.
JJ, we'll see you August 1st, okay?
Yes, and please, either you could send Innocent information, or you could send me the information, and we will send you out. You know, if all 3 of you are at different location, send me all 3 addresses. We'll ship you out stuff.
Yeah, I'm missing my sidekick Kyle, but do you mind, Sanj, when we have you on the show, would you have Innocent with you? Would we love to bring him on our show too, if you don't mind?
Listen, I don't do shows with anybody else, especially fucking black Democrats. No, I'm a Republican. Trump 2024. I want to see these motherfuckers thrown the fuck out of this country.
Oh, I love this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Don't worry about it.
man.
I'll hijack. I'll hijack it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
All right, Saj, I know you just got home. You had a
Have
long
a good
day.
night, Saj.
Have a great day.
Yes, good night, guys. God
Take
bless.
care, my man. Thank you so much for joining
God
us.
bless. And
Right,
send
yeah.
Innocent, as soon as you guys done, send Innocent all the information.
I'll send them everything.
So if I see him tomorrow, then I'll ship you out stuff tomorrow.
Perfect.
If I see him on Saturday, normally he's there Saturday, but then I'll have to ship you on Monday.
No problem.
No problem.
All right.
Thank you very much for the offer.
My
We
pleasure.
Can't wait to have you on, buddy.
My
Take
pleasure.
care. A lot of fun.
You got
a lot
it.
Of fun.
All right,
Got
thanks
it.
for
All
coming
right.
on, Sanj.
Bye bye.
All right.
So now that he's
And remember, there's only one Patel, one real Patel.
Yes. Out of the
Good
millions
night,
in
guys.
the world, there's only one.
night.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
Take care,
Thanks,
son.
Saj.
Thank you.
Yeah, and they run all the Holiday Inns.
And the 7-Elevens.
Yeah. And Dunkin' Donuts.
But
Oh,
now
yeah,
that he's
yeah,
stated
yeah.
your political point of view, I guess the show is over for us.
Yeah. No, you know what? Like,
We'll never be invited back again, Bob.
nah, you know what the funny thing is? So we always joke about that. You know, like I feel like the older you get, the more conservative you get.
Right.
100%.
No question about
So
it.
100%.
Because they keep reaching into your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
start to
you know,
wise up.
yeah, well, that too. But you know, like you see what they're doing, you're like, I'm not with that.
You can't
know,
go with that. No,
You
you
know,
can't.
so
Yeah.
You're a young man and you see it already.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
You know, again, the fake news, the brainwashing is strong in this country.
Exactly.
But when you really sit down and see what it's all about and understand, like Frank said, they keep reaching in your pocket. They
All the
reach it
time.
in your pocket to keep you down into a box because that's all they want to keep you. They don't
Exactly.
want you to expand and grow
Don't
and
worry.
enjoy life.
About time is for time for me to retire. The retirement age would be around 73.
Oh, it'd be more than that. What are you,
What
what are you 28, 29? What are you?
I'm 38, so
Oh, God bless.
93.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
one question, like, so we can go back to you guys' history because you know I was going in there before Sanj, you know. So and you guys were talking about your grandfather, you know. So like, what was you guys go-to cigars like? But no, let's talk about now. Like, what do you guys like? First thing in the morning, you reach for a cigar. What do you guys go to?
Oh God, there's so many. That's a loaded question. You know, it all depends on the day. What you got? You know, if you're gonna have an espresso, a cappuccino, coffee,
Yeah.
what's doing outside. That's a tough one, man. Because you know, we have really experienced in the last 6 years, Bob, myself, and then Frank coming along. We have experienced so many wonderful
Yeah.
cigars that it's hard to say. I mean, I guess I could say Padron has always been on top because I never had a bad one. Never, ever had a bad Padron. But, I mean, that's kind of a known factor. You know, there's a lot of boutique cigars out there that are really coming on heavy. Really
Well, you know
good.
what? I think the game has changed.
100%.
You know, I think the game has changed as far as when it comes to science and agriculture.
Yeah.
And, you know, the only thing that I'm worried about now is just the oversaturation right now in the San Andreas wrapper.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, a lot of cigars now, they're coming out, every cigar pretty much is coming out with their version of a San Andreas wrapper.
100%.
You know, and it just makes you wonder, okay, so it's like, all right, we're at San Andreas now. What's gonna be the next big boom?
Tobacco
You know.
from Africa. That's
Yeah.
going to be the next one.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. The Cameroons and everything is coming on incredibly. Our friend Ish has just opened up his own factory and bought property in Zimbabwe.
No,
And-
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia?
No, I think it's Zimbabwe.
He told me
All right.
Ethiopia. But
I think he has 2 farms right
Yeah.
now. He's
Well, he
got
could
2
be,
farms
because-
going on. And
So-
the tobacco is second to none. I mean,
Oh.
we've
You know,
been blown away
I
by
love-
tobacco.
I love Cameroon rappers, and
Yeah.
you know, and even for AJ to come out with his own version of a Cameroon rapper, you know, and for the price of it, you can't beat it for $7 for a Cameroon. That's
exactly.
At that price, he's going to move quite a bit. He really is.
I mean, listen, when it comes to Cameroon and
everyone is working with it right now.
Is the Marifel?
Yeah, it really is.
So the Marifels are steeped in African Cameroon tobacco. That's their stronghold, right? And they cater to. I mean, they provide the tobacco for Fuentes and for a lot of others, but they have their own cigar line, and it's a very wealthy, I'll call it, cigar, meaning that you can't be an average person and spend, $100 a stick. It's just not going to happen for most people. Maybe once a year you might have one, but does that cigar resonate to the price? And I'm from the school that I think once you get over $30-$40, I think you're gouging, and you're basically selling to a class as opposed to selling a good cigar. You're just selling to a class so that person who's smoking that cigar can say, I'm smoking this El Septimo, or I'm smoking this Marifel.
But it does have
that panache.
I mean, like the Byron that we smoked.
Yeah, the Byron was unbelievable. The best cigar
Byron cigars are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I haven't had one yet, but everybody that has had one has just loved Byron.
Save your pennies and buy one.
And that's a cigar that I would say is worth every penny.
It is. It is.
It was a 33 retail on that cigar, and Bob and I sat there and we smoked.
We were in awe. It was really something that just blew us away. Again, it's not a cigar you're going to have every day.
Yeah.
And if you can, maybe a couple of times a year. That's pushing the envelope, but
that's the thing. It's like you're like, oh man, for $33, I can get 5 cigars for $86.
There you go.
Even the Padron, some of the Aniversarios, $75, $100 a stick.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you know what? The problem there is, and one thing that Sanjay, he says, it's not their fault. It's the consumer's fault.
It is the consumer's fault.
And here's the thing, and Saka says it himself. Saka will say, if he says, if you want to spend $100 on a unicorn, you're an idiot.
Right.
He goes
the other night on the show. You heard it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's the thing. He goes, if you want to spend $100 on that cigar, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Because you can get so many other cigars for that $100.
Absolutely, and enjoy it so many more times over.
It's always the
5, 6
fault.
cigars.
I mean, that holds true with everything. The price of a ticket to go to a concert, the price to go to go see a baseball game. I mean, whatever it is, if you're willing to pay it, hey, they're going to keep jacking it up. I mean, why not?
Well,
we're a capitalist society. If you can get money, take it.
I think the one big problem I have just in the cigar community right now is every 3 to 6 months their price is raising. It may not raise a lot. It may raise 25 cents, may raise 50 cents, but it's just the fact that they're raising the prices. And it's like, all right, well, you're still, it's the same cigar.
Yeah, and listen, it's not like they're going ahead and they're paying their people a lot more money.
No.
Well,
everything stays the same at their end. It's just our end that keeps going up. We were just talking about this. The new norm for the price of a cigar, a good cigar now, not a piece of crap, is between $10 and $16. That's what you're going to spend for a cigar now.
Yeah.
Where like 5 years ago it was maybe $4 to $8.
Yeah.
That's a big jump in just a short period of time.
It's a big jump and a big difference.
Yeah.
And at the same time, and I think, and the one thing is, but that kind of forces people to leave the brick and mortar and go online and look for deals.
Right.
Well, again, you got to pay that little extra for the brick and mortar, just for the socializing, for the atmosphere.
And not only that, the guy's got overhead. He's got to pay rent. He's got to pay stuff. So you want to sit in his lounge, sit in his nice comfy chair and enjoy the ambiance.
Yeah, exactly.
It's worth a couple of dollars more just for that,
Yeah. So, and I totally agree with that. The only issue is it's very hard for the brick and mortar to compete.
Right.
When you can go online and get a box for $100.
Well, that's the battle. That's the battle right now between brick and mortar and the internet. And right now, kind of the internet is winning in a sense, but that only hurts everybody else.
Yeah, it does,
and it will hurt everybody else, and it's a shame because there are people who like to smoke and be by themselves, whatever it is. But for the most part, most people like to hang, like we're hanging right now. Yep. If we were in a cigar, like Sedge, how many people or how many seats are in his lounge?
I would say maybe 40 because he has a back area also.
Nice. Okay,
I mean that's nice, and at the
price more because he has a back area, then he has the backyard.
Okay,
so
all right,
he has a pretty big spot
for his price, $6, $7, $8. I can imagine that place has got to be full almost all the time.
Well, we have the usual. We have the usual suspects, and we consider ourselves family.
Okay,
because we see each other pretty much every day, And then, but we do have a lot of people that walk in, they buy, and then they go because they can't beat the prices.
Right.
So people will drive 40 minutes just to go to Sanjay's shop to be able to get those prices. They're like, all right, well, if I go here, I can maybe get maybe seven cigars. Where if I go to Sanjay's, I can get 12.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah,
definitely.
Not only that, imagine if there's no brick and mortar anymore.
Yeah.
Now you have to order online. So now you have to order minimally is a 5-pack.
Yep.
But you don't get the ability to say, I'm going to buy this one stick because I don't know anything about it and taste it.
Yeah.
You kind of lose that ability.
Yeah.
So now you're forced to buy a box or a bundle or whatever it is. Yeah. So, I mean, the brick and mortar is a big player for us.
You know what? But and the thing too is it's the community. It's exactly. And that's
there you go.
And the biggest thing about the community is you can go to that person and see their band and go, how you like that cigar? And that right there
starts the whole conversation of the leaf and everything else.
And here's the thing: there's times where millionaires will come in the Sanjay shop, and I'll be sitting down, and it's not about the money, and we sit and we just talk cigars. Cigars are like the ultimate equalizer.
Absolutely.
And you could be sitting next to a lawyer, a doctor,
exactly,
a guy who picks up the garbage from your block every day. It doesn't matter. You're all on the same level.
Yep.
That's the beauty of sitting in a lounge.
And sometimes, don't get me wrong, there's some lounges that there's different lounges because
there is.
Because you have your club lounge where there's music going and you can barely have a conversation. And then you have a place, like where Sanjay's is like, there's no music.
Right.
There's another place called Casa Tabac that just opened up maybe 2 years ago, and there's no music because you want that atmosphere when people can actually sit down, enjoy the cigar. If they want to put music on their phone, they can go in their area, but they're able to just sit and enjoy just without having
yelling and screaming.
Yeah,
because it's different music for everybody anyway.
Exactly.
I mean, we kind of like the jazz and blues sound for ourselves. And just it's noise, but comfortable noise in the background.
Exactly.
If you stop for a minute, you hear a couple of tunes, and then you can talk. But the other places are just blasting it at you, and you start screaming. It takes away that comfortable moment of sitting down and enjoying your friends or people you meet, or just having a normal conversation. That's where the brick and mortar comes in again. A lot of people, like I said, they can go home and just smoke by themselves. But to do what we're doing now, if we were there, I mean, I enjoy that. I'm a people person, and I enjoy just sitting down and chilling and talking and learning about other people, learning about life, and see how things are going on.
Hey, and how many friendships have been developed just sitting in a lounge?
Yeah,
exactly.
A total stranger now becomes like a friend. By the end of the night.
Yep,
and
that you want to hang out with.
And when you pretty much know their schedule when they're going to be there. So it's like, all right, I know when I go to the shop, this guy's going to be there. I can sit, have a cigar, talk, de-stress, and and it's like, and it's kind of like your own little man cave.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, just call it cave because a lot of women now are hanging out in the man cave, as they say.
And
that's a good thing.
Now.
Right now, the women are smoking like crazy. There are more and more women who want to see what the hell was the whole big to do in a man cave. There's nothing. We just sit there and we bullshit. Maybe our jokes might not be as crazy or sexual, but it adds another conversation and hear what a woman has to say.
So speaking of women, just real quick, I gotta do a little bomb for Ash Quarterly.
Who's that? Karen Berg? Who is that?
Yep,
it is Karen Berger. There you go.
And they came out with their QR codes. So for the magazine, which is an amazing magazine, and it's free.
Yeah.
Yep. That is. You sign up for free.
Yep. It's a quick plug. Shout out to Jason and Rebecca, and that's how we met. We were talking about that earlier. And
Karen's Lounge is only about 15 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's real close. I mean, what I think is very interesting over the past, I'm going to say 10 years, the marketing of the industry really has changed. It's gone from, traditional type of advertising in print media, things like Cigar Aficionado and other publications. And now you have probably more ambassadors and influencers that, I can't even keep track of how many there are.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the one thing. Social media, is the way to go, and and people get a big following because they trust their palate.
Right.
Yep.
And and one thing is, like Sanjay, he doesn't have anything from like General Cigars in the shop. So what happens is that people that read like Cigar Aficionados, or they'll go by the list of Cigar Aficionados, a lot of that stuff is not in the shop.
No, because they're paying top dollar to be on there.
Exactly.
Correct.
Listen,
there's a lot of bias.
You don't get in aficionado
without a big envelope.
Listen, that's $50,000. $50,000 to get print in there for aficionado.
Wow.
Okay,
wow.
That's what it costs to get your print, to get your page, and all of that. 50 G's. Is it worth 50 G's? I mean, print is kind of on the way out. It's basically social media is where it's all at.
Well, and print is never going to go out. Print is never going to go out. People like to hold it.
But it's dying, Bob. It's dying. Look what happened.
It's not dying. It's not. Maybe to you, it's not dying. Believe me. People like to hold a magazine in their hand. They like to look through the advertising, the glossy pictures. It's an art form in itself. It's not.
Well, I think the biggest thing is I think the one thing is now is like, it like if you notice Cigar Aficionado, the prices went down a lot. For the magazine. Because the key now is the same thing with cigars, is just getting it in people's hands. And the one thing I feel, and the hardest part I feel like is, for new cigar makers and come out with their new brand, it's getting it in people's hands and getting them to trust you.
Right.
I spoke to Luis Cuevas, and I love Luis Cuevas. I love their cigars. I think they're good people. And I think the one thing that is hard is you don't just root for the cigar, but you root for the person.
Right.
Absolutely. Especially when you start learning them and knowing them on a personal note, then you feel that friendship. And if you like that friendship, you want to see them succeed. And you feel like you're part of that in a sense.
It's very similar to a gentleman that we met here in Florida who started out by basically being a patron at Corona, and that's Howard G. From Howard G Cigars. Howard G, he makes great cigars, but the reason Howard G is so successful is his personality. He's a magnet.
It's just like Steve, like Saka.
He's a magnet.
It's the face behind it,
And there's Howard makes everyone feel like they've known him their entire life.
Oh yeah.
He has such respect for people.
Down to earth guy. Love the guy.
And he got that from hanging out at Corona with Avo.
Yeah, that's where he started.
Avo was his mentor. And what was interesting, and Howard G's story was like,
Do you know Howard by any chance?
No, never met him, but
great.
I think tomorrow I'm gonna send him a message on Facebook and see if I can get him on the show.
Yep, absolutely.
Wonderful guy. Man.
One of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Him and his wife Rachel.
Yeah.
Salt of the earth. But I'll never forget him talking about Avo and kind of coming to tears because of the fact that when he spoke to Avo and Avo saw his passion and saw him as such a wonderful human.
Real. He's real.
And Avo said to him, Howard, have you ever thought about having your own cigar line? And Howard's like, me? You think that of me? He goes, yes. He goes, because it's about you. It's the persona. It's what people fall in love with. That once you give them a great cigar, you still have to service those people. You still have to be the face behind the brand. And Howard,
it's instant recognition with Howard.
It is.
Just like I said before, with Steve, it's the same thing. You know the person right away, and you know what they're going to bring to the table.
And you know what you're getting. There's no bullshit.
No, you're not going to get a bad cigar. Plain and simple. You're going to get a top-notch cigar.
So one thing I wanted to get into, because you guys were at PCA.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys did a lot of. So how was that experience?
Unless you're there, it's hard to describe. All I can tell you is, if you go the first time, it's going to literally blow you away. It's overwhelming. It's fabulous. And for us, we've been going for a few years now. We kind of know people in a sense.
Yeah.
It's like you walk down an aisle, you stop, you say hello, and you know these people. It was a fabulous experience. If you had never went, I would strongly suggest try and go, because it's for you and your passion in this industry, it's really going to blow you away. It puts the industry just at another level that it's hard for us to explain unless you actually were there to take it all in.
It's like being a kid in a candy store.
Wow.
You're just going wild.
You get a chance to
rub elbows with the top people of the industry
and the people who want to be someone.
Yes.
So you
even
have
the newbies.
Both. You have both. You have the people who've been in the industry, like
generational.
Generational,
of course.
Like Juan Lopez and Cindy, his wife, and Gurka. You have folks like Steve. We met a guy, Juan Lugo, from Don Doroteo Cigars. Myself and Bob.
Never saw them before. Never saw their cigars.
Never had it, and we're blown away. We walked away saying that was the best cigar that we've had at PCA. Don Doroteo. Wow. And the reason why these two cigar lines that he's released have an Andullo tobacco inside of this, and Andullo is just a method of fermentation that's been done for over 100 years in the Dominican, and what it does is it's wrapped in plantain, but banana, like big plantain husks, and it's like 6 foot tall, and it is one of the most exquisite tobaccos.
The smell alone is just incredible. It's hard to describe.
It's intoxicating.
I've never smelled tobacco. Well, as a pipe smoker, it's like there's certain tobaccos in the pipe world. When you pop that tin, you get that smell, and that's what this tobacco smelled like. And I even said to them, I'm kidding around. I said, have you thought about making this as a pipe tobacco? He said, funny you should say that. He took out a pipe, a brand new pipe, and he said, and a dish of the tobacco, he cuts them off. He says, go ahead, try it. And I tried it in the pipe, and it was like, oh my God, you got to release this as a pipe tobacco as well. It was an incredible, incredible smell. I never had anything like it. No, never. And this is what you get to experience when you're at the PCA. Something you never had before.
Yeah.
New. I mean, I never heard of these people before. No, and yet I will seek out their cigars now.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. And so, like one thing that, of course, when Handful does its reviews, and everybody has a PCA special.
Right.
And I was kind of blown away because, I kind of wanted to get my hands, like, I'm a big fan of CLE and Aurora.
Okay.
And I seen that they were coming out with a exclusive at PCA, but they're only making 200 boxes of it.
Right.
But with the box in itself, it was an ashtray.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a great gimmick when you think about it. It's 2-in-1. And CLE, I was just with the sales rep just the other day, and she said that their first day, they blew away their goal for the entire week. That's how, they had the best show ever. The first day, they were like, at the end of the day, when they got together, they couldn't believe the numbers that all the reps signed. I mean, this show, from everybody that we're hearing, was not a tire kicker. They were serious buyers. And the booths were packed with real buyers, people who were serious about knowing what they wanted right away. And CLE did fabulous, and good for them. And another great line.
The crazy thing was, one thing is Gurkha is always hit or miss.
Right.
Either you love it or you hate it. There is no middle zone with Gurkha.
Yep.
They get a bad rap. I mean, they do get a bad rap, so that holds people back. But they do have good cigars. Like for me, my wife, we love the Ghost out of Gurkha. Yes. I mean, that's an enjoyable smoke. Yeah. It's good. It's smooth. Good construction. Great drawer. That's my favorite. But there are others that, okay.
They like the Ghost and the Revenant.
It depends on how long you've been around.
Yes.
A lot of people will say it's not Gurkha from years ago. And yes, it's not. It's not. But they do still have some good smokes. I mean, let's face it.
I think with Gurkha, what they kind of stood by was their packaging and their uniqueness around how they created
their box.
Yeah.
Their box and their labels is everything.
But their box at PCA that they came out for their PCA exclusive. Did you guys see that?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It was the most insane thing I like, hands down. I was like, wow. Like I would buy that just for the box itself.
Right.
Well, if you're going to go that route, you'll never get out of the PCA.
Yeah.
Because everybody has a special box at the PCA.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff there. They're works of art, some of them. They really are. You would say, oh my God, you finish the cigars and you display the box. I mean, beautiful.
Yeah.
And especially now they get into lacquers and beautiful paint jobs and just the artwork itself. It becomes an art form. It really does.
And
we're looking for this though. In the end, it's still about this.
Exactly.
you
can have the best box in the world.
A lump of shit, a nice color, but it's still a lump of shit. If it's not producing, that's it.
Next year, I plan on going. It's gonna be hard because during the summer I have my sons during the summer, so it's gonna be.
Wait a minute. Next year is March.
I
moved it to March. So it's no more summers. They realized the summer in Vegas is just too hot. And just too crazy. So they moved it to March next year, and then in 25 they're going to Louisiana, New Orleans.
Okay. The one thing that Andrew from Villiger came in Assange's, and he couldn't make it, but he was talking about the presentation of your booth,
right?
That's a big thing. And and he was also explaining to me about how Villiger, their market, it's good here, but it's amazing overseas.
Right, they're an overseas company, really.
Yeah.
Yes,
they're big at Intertabak and in Germany.
So to me it was kind of mind blowing because people kind of because they have so many facings.
Right.
Oh yeah.
They have so many facings, and the problem is that people might go and buy a machine rolled one and go, oh, this is shit. Villiger makes shit cigars, but they're not having their hand rolled stuff.
Right.
So and some people they might not be able to tell the difference between what's their machine rolled and what's their hand rolled stuff. And with so many facings, you can end up getting 2 or 3 and to end up giving up because you don't know.
Exactly.
Right.
one thing I feel also too is some brands just have way too many facings.
Yeah,
you're 100% right. I mean, you saw the show Tuesday night, which blew us all away.
Yeah,
Saka this year till next January, 24 new cigars.
yeah.
That was just unbelievable number. He was going down the row, and we said 20 as a joke.
Yeah.
But no, he had 24, and I believe there's probably more. He's kind of stopped right there.
Well,
I mean, that's a lot.
But again, look at his limited edition. You can't get them.
Yeah. I think the one thing is like with certain brands, you might have 4 or 5 that kind of keep the company afloat.
Right. Well, you have to have those 4 lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have 4 or 5 that sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
And then you'll have maybe 12 others that just sit in the shop that doesn't move. And it's kind of like, and then you end up sitting on all this extra stuff of that one brand because you can't keep the other 4 in stock, but the other 12 aren't moving, and it's like, man, like the numbers aren't.
Well, you got to know, like Sanjay or the owners have to know their clientele.
Yeah.
Again, you want to carry everything because you have those 4 or 5. But if you're running low or somebody says, let me try something else, it's kind of the B side of an album. You're going to go with the B side to give it a shot because, hey, I love this one. Yeah. I like this one. What else they got? And they try to go through there. And
but that comes into your staff.
Yes.
If you're at a brick and mortar, your staff is the person that's going to push that product or not, because they have their own biases. This is what I like.
Right.
I'll push it towards what I like. And again, geographically, there's some stores, as Steve said, one cigar sells great in one shop, and 10 miles away, it doesn't sell.
Yeah, the other cigar sells.
Oh, the other one sells. Yeah, you can have 2.
It's like again, client base and geographically, you can't force people to like everything. That's
exactly. And I was talking to Ryan last night about Espinosa cigars, and just about the boom in the last maybe 2 years that they have,
right?
Being able to get the knuckle sandwich out, and what happens is that you have the knuckle sandwich, you go, all right, this is good. Let me see what else they have,
right?
And it's like, man, like a lot of this stuff they don't miss on. I told Hector, I said at least in my opinion, I said in my opinion now. I feel like you're a top 10 because you're a top 10 blender right now, just because of the fact of the success that Espinosa is having right now.
Well, Guy Fieri definitely brought him back. Having Guy, the celebrity, that has really helped Espinosa
a lot,
a rebirth. When at PCA, Guy and Eric and the rest of his astronaut, they were going around all the booths. They were walking around. Of course, everybody sees Guy and they're jumping in, and right away, I got to get to Espinosa's booth and see what else is going on there. So he definitely helped put them back on the map. They always have their regular line, which everybody, what are you smoking right now? Yeah, you're
601s
and the warheads. On your taste. If you're not a
spice guy,
a full body smoker, you try a knuckle sandwich, you're gonna put you on your ass.
Yeah, you definitely you have to eat before that.
I'm not gonna smoke that cigar again. You probably got the spins and you're barfing. It's a strong cigar. Yeah. I like it. We like it a lot, but a lot of people probably can't handle it.
You definitely have to eat before that one.
I can smoke a lot of cigars. The only one that I'm like 0-3 against is the Davidoff Late Hour, the Churchill. Every time, no matter what, it knocks me out every time.
Well, it's not for you. That's all. It's just not a smoke that you're going to sit there and enjoy. You don't want to have a knockout smoke.
And I look at Davidoff, and I think they're overrated.
They're overrated, overpriced. And, they don't appeal to my palate.
I think the one thing, but the problem is that they have the name.
Right, yes, they do.
And that name will, because like Camacho isn't doing as well as it used to do. Nobody's really smoking Camachos like that anymore.
And I don't know why, because honestly, I like Camachos. They're all good. They're nice, good smokes, and the price is right. Yeah. And I'm very surprised that they're not doing better.
Yeah, like Camacho and Avo.
Right.
Oh, Avo is a smoke in itself.
When Avo passed away, it's very difficult to keep a brand when the face of the brand
we go back to that. We go back to that.
You know, it's hard because it's a legacy brand then, right? And now you're basing the future on someone who's no longer there, and now their involvement is gone, right? So now whoever is part of that team is trying to keep that alive,
and maybe that person's palate is not the same. So you can't say I'm going to make the same cigar. No, you're not.
Yeah,
because you don't have that palate. You don't taste the same. You know, whatever it is, that special ingredients that's made that cigar famous. You know what I'm saying?
And so it totally just slipped my mind. I was going to ask you guys about another cigar brand who's kind of a legacy brand. You know, and they're not. Oh, I was going to talk to you guys Fuente.
Yeah.
You know, some people say that, you know, that the newer stuff, of course, is not as good as the old stuff that the father made.
No, I agree with you in that one.
I don't smoke a lot of Fuente.
No,
I mean, there are a couple of their
the Opus X I like the Hemingways.
Right, the Hemingways are a good cigar.
Yeah, but I don't reach
for it.
I don't go for them. I'll walk past them. Actually, I'll be honest with you. There's other stuff I'd rather get.
And Melanie Cisco's selling enough Fuente.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about it. You know.
So, like, how do you guys feel about the new? It's not Upman. It's the little guy. The little guy just bought the company. Oh man,
little guy that bought the company.
Who's the little guy? Who's the little guy who can buy somebody today?
Oh man, they went out of business and they're doing cigarettes now. That's it.
Cigarette.
They have the timeless.
No, that's Ferrio. That was whatchamacallit. That was on Park Avenue.
Nat Sherman.
Nat Sherman.
They have the Metropolitan, and now you know, that's Michael Herklotz with Timeless, and I think that Michael is a great. He's a great
ambassador for his cigar.
He's a great front man for his cigars, and I think Steve made a very interesting point when he talked about Michael, that he put out 2 cigars in the Prestige Timeless line, and he said, you know, Michael should just put one out and not compete with himself for the same, you know, like put out the one and then put out the other, your next release. Don't try to compete with yourself, especially when you're new, as far as when you're a new brand. You know, and it's hard because, again, he's a legacy. He's coming off of Nat Sherman's fame,
which is was a landmark in New York. I mean, I used to go back to Nat Sherman's back in the '60s, you know, buy stuff.
So I work right around the corner from Nat Sherman.
Oh, do you?
Oh, okay.
So at the time when they closed, I didn't smoke cigars. So
Right.
there's a few guys at my job, and they said that they went in there and everything was like 60% off.
Right.
Wow.
You lighters, you name it.
They were liquidating everything.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford to pay the rent.
Yeah.
Well, you know, New York City rent is overpriced and
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I mean, they had a whole city block.
It's insane. It's insane.
You know, it just doesn't work like that. That paradigm.
And again, you got the laws now that are all anti-smoking.
You know what? And that's the problem too. And they're trying to raise the tax to 90% in New York State.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that right there can really just kill it can just kill a cigar shop.
Not to get political, big man, but your side is killing it.
Well, I gotta be my side for. How can I be my side?
Well, you know, the way it is. I mean, New York City had probably 100 Tiamo shops
More than that. More than that. It was one on every block.
I know there was like a Tiamo.
Back in the '60s, I mean, there was so many tobacconists.
Right.
When I was like 16 years old, 17 years old, one of my things on a Saturday was to get up, head into the city, and just go from shop to shop. And I would spend a day going from shop to shop, buying cigars and pipe tobacco and just hanging out in all these different stores. And that was a whole day. I mean, think about it. Just from going from downtown. Well, Wally Frank was a big player at that time. They had numerous stores. And Dunhill itself, you go into Dunhill, in the back of the store, they had the tobaccos. And they would actually blend tobaccos for you right there. And you would go on, and anytime you wanted to, your name would go there. The blend that you made specifically for you, you could order on the phone. You could walk in there; they would make it for you right on the spot. I mean, that kind of stuff doesn't exist anymore.
No. Yeah,
well, Dunhill doesn't exist anymore. But
I think, and the one thing, and we still have Martinez cigars. Martinez, they're still over there on 29th Street, but their big thing is they make for other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that kind of helps. And of course they have their own line, but it's very hard to sell in New York City when it's like, all right, this cigar is $11, but then you have to add the tax to it.
Yeah.
So
that's
$11
cigar like $20 $20+ And by the way, you can't smoke it anywhere here.
Right.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
So it's really hard for New York, and we're trying to do like they're trying to protest, but they get lumped in with cigarettes.
Right.
And vapes.
Well, cigarette and vapes really created the major problem in the tobacco industry.
Exactly.
And
it was the vape.
The vape because the young kids really just jumped in it, and they put in a natural product, a leaf. They're putting that in with pipe tobacco, and cigars are being lumped in with chemical cigarettes, and who the hell knows what's in this vape stuff. That is so new that I really think the people who are stuck on that is going to have some health issues later on in their future. Absolutely, big man. Absolutely.
One thing. I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Because you guys have pipes in your name, and I have a pipe here. I'm not the biggest pipe smoker. So what's the difference between the regular, just regular tobacco in the mud, or the pudding? Like,
say that again. Regular tobacco in the what?
And sometimes in a can they call it a pudding.
Oh, that you're talking about plum pudding.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, again, it's the fermentation. Regular tobacco would be just regular tobacco, just what it said. Your Virginians, your Burleys, and stuff like that. Some of the other stuff is like put inside of whiskey casks for fermentation, or rum casks and stuff like that. So you're getting those the flavors, those notes are coming out of the whiskey barrels and stuff like that. It's not artificial; it's the real thing.
Yes.
And again, goes back to what this whole mess is about. These are not chemically induced tobaccos. They're not flavored. They're naturally flavored. So if you're smoking a pipe, that's great. You should keep going because it is wonderful.
Now it's a different head altogether for you. You think cigars are relaxing. When you smoke a pipe, it really takes you to another level of relaxation. In the beginning, if you're a smoker, you're going to keep lighting it. You're going to try to keep packing it correctly.
Yeah.
But once you kind of get it down, it is even more relaxing than a cigar.
There's an art to it, how to pack the pipe properly and so forth. It takes a little bit of learning. And you could probably go on YouTube and watch 10,000 people tell you exactly how to do it, if you want.
Yeah.
But it is so enjoyable. It really is a pleasure in itself.
And the scent, the smell, you get more.
That's one thing I do notice. So, I bought something like the cheap Captain Black tobacco just to try.
Well, that's a good practice for you.
Well,
doing your bowl. Well, listen.
That is chemically treated. There are chemicals in that. You want to stay away from that stuff. The cheap stuff is just that cheap. You know,
Okay.
But, if you want to get into something that's a little bit more expensive and that doesn't have any kind of chemicals added to it, but once you get into it, it's a whole nother head. I mean, it really brings you new places, and the amount of not only the room notes but the flavors.
Yeah,
Endless.
It's endless compared to cigars. I mean, it's endless. You'll never stop.
And that's the one thing. And a couple guys they've had a couple Davidoff pipe tobacco blends, and they say it's amazing.
It is.
I never smoked their pipe tobacco, but some of the big guys, some of the big cigar guys have it. Gurkha has it. Oh man, there's
Rocky had his own too.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, but compared to some of the older people that have been around for years and years, Stokerby, stuff like that, they're generational. These people have been producing pipe tobaccos for hundreds of years. I mean, you're going to pay a little bit more because it's quality, just like an expensive cigar. But you will instantly see the difference. Instantly.
And actually, you can go a lot further with your dollar smoking pipe tobacco than cigars.
Oh yeah, now it's a pipe tobacco lasts you probably a month, versus a stick that could last you just a couple of hours. But it's the same price point.
So what you might pay for one good, stick, you can buy yourself a can maybe. And that can, like Bob said, could last you a month, depending on how many bowls you want to hit at it. The price value blows away everything.
Does the pipe itself make a huge difference in your?
Yes.
Well, yeah, depending on the bowl and the briar or how you make it, or the meerschaum.
Where's my pipe? I know I got my pipe here somewhere.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You can load up a corn cob, right, and have a great smoke, right? For $6, $7, $10 corn cob, but yet you can get a $100, $200, $300 and even up quality, briar.
Here it is. So I bought this for like $15.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So again, good practice on what you're smoking now, just so this way you get it down, you're packing and you're drawing. But once you graduate, from Captain Black and you start going to some other name, you're going to find a whole nother head. You really will. And it's very enjoyable.
You'll see the differences between a Virginian, which is a more sweet, hay-like smoke, versus what they call an English, which is a heavy, a latakia tobacco, which is a heavy, very smoky, campfire-y taste. The tastes are so vast. Perique, well, that's very spicy.
Really?
Yeah. You just got to keep trying them, and eventually you hook into what you like the best.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, guys, we're coming up on a 2-hour mark.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you owe us a couple of dollars now.
Well, we hope we entertained your crowd there. You see a lot of people have been in and out.
I want to thank you guys so much for coming on, and especially for my first live. I felt comfortable doing it. So,
I told you.
We had a good time.
Thank you for allowing us to break your cherry.
Yeah.
I told you.
Right. You guys were nice and gentle. Don't worry.
That's right.
Well, we still like your barber, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for asking us.
It's no problem at all. And I think for a fact I'm definitely gonna be reaching out to you guys to come on again in a few months.
All right,
you guys could be, because there's so much other stuff that we can get into and talk about. Especially old Jersey.
Yeah,
old Jersey. You still watching The Sopranos out there?
Yeah,
he's living in Newark.
Many shades of Newark.
Yeah, you know what? So the ice cream shop is like 15 minutes from me that Tony got killed in.
Oh, yeah?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh
Wait a minute,
man.
did he really get killed? I don't know. I'm on the fence about that.
Yeah.
I just think the electricity went out in the shop.
You know,
well,
he will live
sure
forever.
That, Paulie will give you some more information about Old Newark.
That's right.
Yeah. I really appreciate
and not
it, guys.
Paulie Walnuts either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, listen, thanks again.
Thank you
really
for
appreciate it.
buddy.
And the crowd, all you guys, keep supporting him.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks. It's at the
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
Perfect.
So we'll continue to laugh. All right, buddy.
All right, guys.
Have a great one.
All right, have a good night.
Weekend.
Take care.